Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenore and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Taurus. If Taurus is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so our card tonight is the Prince of Discs. And let's see what these tea leaves have to say tonight. Oh, immediately. Okay. But first, let me say, if you haven't subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. And also, if you want to like or comment, I would love for you to do those things as well. Or whatever. All right, so we have a bird right here. You can see the head, the beak, the little eye, sitting in a nest. Look at that. Maybe incubating his little eggs. And this super resonates with me right off the bat. I'm like, okay, when I come to my office, I walk past the window and there's a robin's nest right out there. And every time I make even the slightest little noise, Mama Robin turns and gives me the stink eye. She says, don't you dare come near me. But I look at it and it just is such an energy of protecting that which is sacred to you, an energy of doing the hard work that needs to be done, right? It might sound nice. Hey, I get to sit in a nest and hang out and wait for these eggs to hatch. They come and go a little bit, right? But I mean, the reality is, it is a lot of work. You're sitting there, maybe really bored sometimes, maybe really hungry sometimes, and so I'm looking at this and I feel like you are in a period of time here where you are just diligently minding the work at hand. Now, we also have the Prince of Discs. So this is definitely that energy of like fully in the dang thing, going 150 miles per hour towards the goal. The thing about the Prince of Discs is, and this is true of all the Prince cards, is that there can be moments of maybe getting ahead of yourself, maybe thinking a little much of your skills and thinking, oh, I don't need any help here, I got this, and then not really knowing what the heck, right? We all are guilty of this. I know I am. There's plenty of times I say, oh yeah, I can do it. I know what I'm doing. I don't know what, the narrator of my little life movie says, she does not know what she's doing. So that's kind of the energy I get from whenever I see that Prince of Discs. But there's also just that passion, the passion to, work within the material world, to do the things that you can feel and touch and smell and hear and see and all that. Things that are maybe you're like a really tactile person, right? And so I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, yeah, so you're really in the zone. And sometimes it doesn't feel like maybe the most exciting things. Of course, I'd love to have the afternoon open to go wandering into the world and, being carefree, but you're sticking to those responsibilities. You're sticking to the choices that you've made. I'm going to do this thing and I'm going to see it to completion. And, you know, whatever it is that I'd rather be doing once in a while, right? I'll figure out how to maybe achieve that, but it's not going to strain what I'm trying to achieve here. Okay, so that's a beautiful. Also, just really that strong parental energy. Okay, we have a lot of kids graduating this time of year. Now, I don't know. In the Southern Hemisphere, you'll have to tell me, because I don't know. I always think like, okay, maybe everything's backwards down there from what we do. When do you graduate from school? When do you all hold your graduations? Is it during the winter? Does it align with our graduations here in the Northern Hemisphere? Or is this thing where, when would it be? It would be, I guess, maybe, November or so, when you're going to be going into summer pretty soon. I don't know, but you have to tell me. You have to tell me, and if you have any other cool things, any other things that are maybe different that I don't know about, that you know about, yeah, leave it in the comments, because I'm constantly like perplexed. I'm amazed at times. I remember when I came to the realization that you all have Christmas during the summer. I thought, my goodness, it must be really weird. But hey, you know what? You know, it's whatever we grow up around, you know, whatever our kind of customs are. Yeah, of course, it seems normal to us, right? So let's see, what else do we have going on? I haven't even spun this thing really. So we have a person here. You can see right here, a person holding a flower. We have a person here holding a bird, okay? So I almost kind of feel like, I'm gonna see, what else do we have around them? I almost kind of feel like this is somebody that, I feel like there's an attraction here. There's an attraction, or maybe this is your spouse, or even maybe a former beloved person. And I feel like what kind of got in the way is maybe gossip. I see with the bird, and this bird is like a fancy bird with a curly tail and everything else. So to me, it's kind of like it's not just like a message, you know, coming from the divine. I mean, it could be, and I don't mean just, right? But I feel like this is kind of almost, this is some kind of, I don't know, exciting and gossiping and a game of telephone, and, you know, all of the things that kind of come with maybe courting somebody or being in a relationship with somebody who maybe is like quite social, not just social, but somebody who is involved in society, right? And it kind of is almost and I'm imagining this kind of Victorian or Edwardian, you know, with all the feathers and the flowers and the fans, and, you know, giggling and gossiping behind closed doors, and, you know, just but I feel like there is a difficulty here with this person. I feel that this is somebody who is not interested in that kind of energy. And now we're talking to a Taurus. I'm talking to you. You could be on either side of this, really. As much as I would like to say that Taurus people absolutely would not put up with any kind of gossip, let's be real. Let's be real. I feel like it's not just, I don't know that you are all into very like idle gossip, but you're really good at reading people. You're really good at kind of having a lot of acquaintances and just kind of getting to know people. And you are collectors of information. You just do. It's like you have a Rolodex in your head where you just file away little factoids about people that you remember. And I don't know why this comes so naturally to Taurus people, but it does. And that's not to say that you go talking about people all the time. But I do think that you sometimes barter in information a little bit. And, you know, this has maybe even gotten you some places within your career, socially, and so on. So I feel like you've at some point come into contact and maybe even fallen in love with this person who, and maybe they're like a Capricorn, maybe they're a Cancer, I don't know. I was going to say Scorpio, but Scorpio is not. That's a gossipy. Well, anyways, likes to talk about things, right? But maybe Cancer, maybe Capricorn, maybe even like an Aries. I think Aries people don't necessarily like to talk so much about people. They're often their own planet half the time. So, you know, I think it's somebody who just, you know, they weren't interested. Now, this could be reverse. I mean, you could be like, you know, courting a Gemini person or, like me, a Virgo. As much as I like to say I don't like gossip or talking about people, well, we all know Virgos, don't we? Right? And I'm sorry to my fellow Virgos if you're watching and this is like one of your other placements. But we are kind of gossipy people. And so I don't know. It could be either or, but I do think this is where the problem kind of happened. And I don't know that it was just that, but I think that was part of it. I feel like this is almost like a person that you get talking to them and their ears turn off. And it's like, who really, even if you're talking about things they don't care about. And now I say this as a Virgo person who is married to a Cancer. And thankfully, shout out to Dove and Serpent Tarot. That's my husband, Paul. He's amazing. Thankfully, he's also a Virgo. I think he's a lunar Virgo. So he's offset a little bit, right? He also he's not gossipy at all, but he'll indulge me when I'm talking about things, you know. I like to gossip about what the animals are doing and you know, I saw the neighbors doing this and, you know, or a lot of times it's things like, I can't believe that they mowed the lawn before I got to get out there and mow the lawn first. You know, these are my big dramas. I had planned to do the lawn today, but I couldn't get out there and the neighbor got out there before me. And now, what am I going to do about that, Paul? You know, so, but yeah, sometimes you have people that just, it's like they turn their ears off, right? And I feel like it just was a mismatch, but for some reason they're coming up. And I feel like maybe you're bumping into them. Maybe something is going on here. Where you will be in a similar place. You know, some kind of social setting, maybe some kind of celebration. I'm looking here, it's an M. Let's see. It's an M, and as I'm thinking, and two M's. We have an M there and we have an M here. So I'm almost thinking maybe this is like a wedding. Like there's a marriage happening. Maybe you will see them at a wedding. And I think that honestly, there is a sense of still kind of having some kind of attraction to them. But, you know, I don't think this is like somebody you like never got over or anything. I think this is kind of a brief love affair of some kind. But I do feel this kind of, you know, you see them and it's like, I want them to see me, you know, I want them to see how well I'm doing, you know, something like that, you know. I don't think it's anything like too, you know, like revenge or anything like that. But I do feel like it's kind of this, I want them to know. I want you to see what you're missing out on, buddy, you know. Okay, let's see. What do we have over here? We have all these eyes too. Let me just go. We have an eye here. Where's the other one? There's two other ones I was looking at. Where'd you go? I get lost in my conversation. Oh, there's one right there. And then there's, let me see on this side. There's an eye right there. At least three, but maybe more. So I feel like there is this sense of like all eyes on you. And that to me, it would make sense that you're going to some kind of function. Because I feel like you are going to be in a place where there are people that you know and know well. And also people you don't know well. Kind of a mixed group of people. And I don't know what's going on with you. And maybe it's this work. Maybe you are doing really well. I don't know. Maybe you started to make some good money, or you bought like a new car, or I don't know, maybe you have a new relationship, or, you know, whatever it is. I feel like people are looking at you, and it's not like not the evil eye. Although watch out for that, because when you do start to kind of come up in any little way, you know, you're always going to have at least somebody who's going to kind of, you know, if they know it or not, send kind of negative energy, like a wanting and a jealousy kind of deal. So put up those kind of mental barriers and shields and whatever it is that you kind of use to ward off that evil eye or that energy. If you use the talisman or, you know, the Nazar, you know, that might be for good measure, right? But I think mostly it's just this feeling of people really being so proud of you, really kind of, you know, looking at you and looking at your life and thinking, wow, they've really done it. Like, they've done really well. And you know, not only do I wonder how you did it, but I'm just so happy for you. That's the thing. And I think, you know, this really comes from a place of like watching you kind of go through some adversity in your life and then, you know, survive it. And not only survive it, like really, really get it together and start thriving. So, you know, I think this is really kind of, I'm back in that kind of, you know, like almost like Victorian era, maybe pre-Victorian, I don't know. But, you know, like these great like balls and galas and coming outs and kind of, if you know anything about, you know, whatever, not that I know a lot about it, but I do watch the movies. I'm a real big fan of the Merchant Ivory films, which seems not much like myself, but I am. I like these kind of movies. But at a time, There were things, and not in like a debutante ball, but it kind of a coming out. When you came to a certain age, you would go to, you know, all of these balls, these big dances and dinner parties and whatever, for a whole season. And there would be lots of them, lots of gatherings. And they were basically so you could find a spouse, right? And kind of find a position in society. And so, you know, obviously you're probably not partaking in any kind of, maybe, I don't know, but probably not partaking in these kinds of traditions. But I feel like this is a time where it's like you're really, you know, showing yourself off to the world. And maybe you're not doing this intentionally, but you can't help but glow. You just have the energy. You have this, you know, like a light, an aura that is attracting people to you. I think, you know, it's almost kind of, you're like, what's going on? Like getting compliments and people being, you know, going out of their way to talk to you. And, you know, I don't know, people asking you for advice and these kinds of things. And it feels different than even just a few months ago. And so, we also have the heart here. So I feel like there's a sense of the heart chakra kind of being ablaze, and generally just feeling pretty good about life, right? And it feels wonderful. It does. It feels wonderful. Now I'm looking at this and I feel like there's it's an E, and I just feel like it's a name. And I'm pretty sure in the last Taurus reading I did, there was an E as well, like a very prominent one. So I feel like this is somebody coming through once again, trying to kind of get your attention. Now I also have an archway here. And it reminds me of like a garden. By the way, I've always had this great desire to have a successful squash and bean archway in my garden. Maybe not this year because I'm just establishing my growing area, but next year it's on. If you've ever grown an archway with plants growing over top, give me all of your advice because I need it. It's definitely like a dream of mine. But I am seeing this archway, and it kind of feeds into this wedding thing in my head again. And this person, this E person, really just coming through once more. And I don't know if this is somebody who has transitioned or if this is somebody who is just trying to like get, oops, just cracked my knuckle. Sorry about that. Who is trying to kind of like psychically attach with you, or, you know, like they're knocking at your psychic door. And I feel like almost maybe like there's some dreams, or you're just thinking about them. You can almost kind of smell their scent, right? Like their cologne or their perfume, or, you know, something about them that reminds you of this person. And yeah, they're right there. Just imagine they're right there. And there's this archway for some reason. Like they're almost kind of like walking through it towards you. Or maybe, I don't know, it like a meandering, I'm imagining this kind of meandering walk. And this beautiful archway, walking beneath it. I don't know. Here comes TT. She heard me. Oh, TT. Someday soon she'll be back in the readings, I promise. Her and Pudgy, I've tried to kind of get them acclimated to the studio so we could bring them back in, or at least I could. And they are just, I don't know. It's something about being around here. They just get really wild and knocking stuff over. So we're getting closer though. Getting closer to the return of TT and Pudge. Now we have a person here reaching for, and it is a fish. You can see a person reaching up here and there's a fish. So for me, definitely a sense of looking for that financial abundance, which connects all the way back to the beginning of the reading, right? You know, doing the work, being really dedicated to, you know, whatever it is that you are doing, career, how you make money, side jobs, whatever it is, okay? There is this real, and it's so close, right? I think it's getting closer and closer. So, yeah, money coming through soon. Now, we also have two wolves. You can see this one kind of howling towards, you know, there's no moon up here, but up towards the moon. And then this one, right? Now, I imagine this one kind of even being a little bit more of a pup because it looks like kind of more bushy. This one seems much more lean and aged. So I kind of do feel like there's this energy of maybe guiding a younger person, or you yourself having a mentor who is older, and feeling like there is a kindredness here. Maybe this is somebody you work with. Maybe you are somebody who volunteers. Maybe you're, you know, like one of those big brother, big sister people. You know, I don't know, something. But I do feel like you are lending guidance or receiving guidance from somebody who's a little bit older than you, a little bit more seasoned in life, right? Let's see, what else? I think that's it for this one. Although we do have a person here who is like kind of, I almost imagine kind of about to take a bow, right? So I feel like there's like a sense of performing. But I don't think it's you necessarily. And we have the number 3. Excuse me. Try not to yawn. Well, we've been through, in our household over here, we've had the flu going through everybody. I don't think that Paul, shout out again to Dove and Serpentero, I don't think Paul really got it. But coming off the end of that, and I don't know, it was kind of a weird one. Like classic flu symptoms, but then after it's been subsiding, I'm just so tired. I don't know. It just, I don't know. But I caught up on a lot of sleep, so I'm thankful for that. But yeah, so a 3 and a person who's taking about, I almost kind of feel like this is annoying. It brings up an annoying feeling a little bit. Younger sibling kind of energy. Maybe just kind of always like trying to show off a little bit or one up. A situation where it's like they're always trying to outshine everybody, not just you, but everybody. And I kind of feel like whatever's going on within the family, I'm going to take a little sip here. Whatever's going on in the family, and this could be that wedding, right? This person, the sibling or whoever it is, really just laying it on thick, really trying to make it about them. And I don't feel like it's their wedding, right? It would be one thing if, yeah, this is like their event, their graduation, their wedding, their, you know, whatever. but I don't think it is. And so we have kind of this little U-turn right here. And there is a sense of like going backwards from where things were. It's all the way backwards. And I think things had been like pretty, pretty calm, pretty cool. But after this situation, which almost feels kind of embarrassing with them, I feel like there's a sense of like going backwards as far as like the state of the relationship, back to somewhere that feels a little rocky. Okay. So be prepared for that. I mean, I think you already know. I mean, we all have family members that are like this. And so we already know. It's just like, how much are you going to do, right? How much are you going to make this weird? Okay, let's see. We have the Wild Offering Oracle cards. It's a 52 card deck that's all about giving it to God. Giving it all to God. That sounds bad. Giving it to God. Let me reread this. A 52 card deck on giving it all to God. There we go. I got it. Don't paraphrase, Lenore. All right, let me see. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stop right where it feels right. I'm going to flip it over. It says, divine timing. The divine brings things in timing that we need. I'm going to start over again. The divine brings things in the timing that we need. Nothing comes before we're prepared, nor leaves too early. May I always trust your perfect and holy timing, dear Lord. May I always trust your perfect and holy timing, dear Lord. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. This isn't an easy one, but it's an important one, isn't it? The universe provides. Everything is in its right time. Doesn't always feel that way, but it is. If we understand it or not. All right, Taurus, I'm going to go ahead and tell you I love you because I do. And I thank you so much for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. And if you would be so kind as to like the video, it does help the channel immensely. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit the little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. And it is free to subscribe. Other than that, if you'd like to leave a comment, I would love for you to do that. I read them all. Sometimes it takes me a little while to get through them all, but I do read every single one of them. So, yeah, I think that's it. I love you. And I want you to take care of yourselves these next few days. We'll talk very soon. Good night, good night, good night.